And away we go. Hey, let's do some retro CSS battles. These are from the past. These are 2024, July 16th, July 17th, and July 18th. Let's go for it. Let's see. So I think that what this is a big rounded rectangle and a bunch of box shadows. That's what I think this is today. Now, is this a good decision? I don't know. Let's see. I could use what I call the what do I call it? The quad plugin and do a four-way symmetry, scaled each element. Could also do this with grid and two columns and adequate gap, and then flip them, variabilize border radius. But I think what I'd like to do is do, it's all sort of underpinning. So as a border radius that does the whole thing. And then, so let's put that in place. So let's do margin, and actually let's do 0, 0. So we know that we know we've got work to do. Border radius 0, 0, 40 pixels 0. Something is wrong there. Syntax is there. Okay. We'll put a margin 0 there and a margin of 0 on the body. Okay, and then let's do a width. Okay, so now we're going to see if we can match that up. So the height is correct. It's 100. So what's the width? Is it 200? No, height is 100. How about the width is that also 100? It is also 100. So I think what that means is if we do this, 2 and 2, yeah, 200 to 200, right? And then our border radius is 40 pixels. And then we use margins to put this in place. Yeah, we put margins to put this in place. Okay, so minus 100 pixels. And that's it. Hey, that's great. Then we set a color, and I'll do red, just so you can see what I'm doing. For box shadow. There's your box shadow. Okay, so let's move it over. 2, 3, 4. And 400 pixels and 0. And then 400 pixels and 300 pixels. And then 0 or 0 400 pixels, 0 300 pixels. Not getting my math right there. Okay, and that is also a solution to this problem. I set the color to this white, and then all my box shadows are the correct thing. Let's submit that and see if that's a solution. So now that I've got that, I've got 100% match. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unset that, and then it's minus 108. Perfect. And I guess in theory I could not do a width. But then I can't push it negative. So I'm gonna leave the width at 200 just for simplicity's sake. But there are probably options there. So let's minify unit replace, and we'll have done this one. Many different choices in terms of how to do this guy. I like a box shadow for this one, right? Rather than 4 elements that you got to position and rotate, or position and set different border radius, etc., etc., etc. All right. Oh, this looks like a bunch of elements to me. I'm not sure there's any way really to get past that. Now, if we're clip pathing to make these triangles, then we can't use box shadows to replicate them. So how do we do this? Let's do this. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles. And I'm just going to do 5 paragraph tags. Unset that. And the very first one is, so we have to decide which one to do first. I guess we'll go left to right, top to bottom. So we'll do that first triangle. So we'll set a background. And we're going to variabilize that because we're going to need that, I think. Var, we'll see B for background color. We'll give it a height. We'll say var h or 40. There they are. There's a bunch of them. All right. So, okay, we need margin. So margin var -m and then a bunch of numbers, 0, 0, 0, 0. And we need to set correct numbers. So we're going to make this first triangle by adjusting these margins. So the top margin, push it down. 60, 58, 57. That could be right. And then that height needs to be, what, 45, 46, 47, 48. If this is wrong, I'm trying to make sure that I encompass the whole figure, and to do that, I need to evaluate whether the diff is showing me that I'm not in the space. So the very tippy top of that first triangle is what I'm looking at, and I kind of don't believe 50 sounds right. So this is where we got to think about the puzzle makers a little bit. 100, 10, 20, and then this 200, 10, 212. Okay, now clip path. Clip path is var, and it's a triangle, and it's var triangle, and that's no, it's not a var. It's just a polygon with 3 points. So the first triangle is 50% 0, 100% 100%, 0 100%. There's your first triangle that matches. Okay. So what? All right. Let's give this next one is a B. And we may have optimizations here, but we're just going to do one at a time. M is, so that's what happens when we zero out. So we need to go negative -50. And then it's probably the inverse of these. So 212 over here and 122 here. And that's what it is, which is great. All right. So that's C. And then C is unique. C has a different height, --h of 100, 200, and then set the margins. Oh, we're going to flip them upside down too, so -1. Great. And then he's got margins as well. Probably it's that 122 number. So margins are 0, 122. And that nails it. That's the same margin that pushes us in here. So all of that is not bad. How about 150? Is that the height? How about 140? Sure. We'll take it. All right. And then D and E are also flipped upside down. And actually, we can just call them D and D. And then we can address them with D plus D attribute. Okay. And then his color, background, or the B for background? B for background. Dash. Forget the variables you set for yourself. Okay, and here's the problem. I can't see it. So let's do that. We need to set some margins because we have gone off the screen. So probably it's more. So how do we do 0, 150 and minus 100, minus 80, minus 85, 4, 3, 2. Okay. And then the margins on this last one, dash dash M, we'll unset those as well. Okay, so now we got to move this guy more. 100, 10, 20, 10, 15. Okay, and now that I've got what I've got, in terms of everything's visible, I can stop worrying about the fact that I can't see them, and I need that red color. Height, we'll do like 50. How about 40, 30? 30 could be right. 60, 70, 80, 90, 200, 2, 90. And then these numbers, I know we're not gonna do these final numbers, but I kind of want to put them there. Ooh. 0. Okay. Here's what I got now. A little wonky, but it's closer. All right, what are these numbers? This number needs to be more. And this number needs to be a little more as well. So now that we've got those numbers, we can flop these, put the 197 here and the 157 here, and probably that's a symmetry. It's all in relation to the body, and that's a way to do it. I definitely did this with a complicated clip path the last time I did it. Not that a triangle isn't a complicated clip path, it kind of is, but more points ends up being more difficult to do. So here's the thing. Let's do it. Let's variabilize scale. Bar of dash dash s or 1, and then I can do dash dash s here, which I really appreciate being able to do that. It's a nice savings, and it's good practice. CSS variables, custom properties end up being very, very useful in web development for flexibility and design, and I really enjoy using them. They are a boon to all the things I do on the web. Really, really appreciate the fact that they're all in browsers. And that's the solution. 100%. All right, lastly, oh, for giggles, let's just do, well, what do we do? Let's just do two kind of gradients. Or so here's something that I don't do. Can I do a linear gradient with one color stop? This is bothering me a little bit. I do that and then set it at 20 pixels, 20 pixels. I get a square. I don't know if I should get a square. Like, that syntax kind of breaks my brain. But I mean, that's legit there, right? Like, so that's I've chosen the brightest color, have I? I think I have, which is this one on the top. So if I move him over, say 180, 170, and then down 50, and then give him a width of 100, 70, 60, and then a height 80, 130, 200, 200. There it is. That's a bar. So that's a weird linear gradient, and with a no repeat, you get that for free. Is it good code? Is it readable code? But I don't know. But I think I noticed during one of the puzzles that I did, one of these, that even with one color stop, I saw the color and I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why? That's not a gradient, right? Like, there's no to and from colors. There's no color stops. There's a single color stop. So how does that make sense? Oh, and you know, maybe it doesn't make sense, but it's sort of an interesting little puzzle there. Okay, and so I've clearly chosen the wrong colors. So yeah, I need the medium color below that layer. Oh, and then I've flopped them. Flop. So that's a conic gradient that's 3/4 of the dark and then 1/4 of the other. And so I'm going to use bump over. And those are the wrong positions. 80. Okay. And 80. Nope. 70. 70. And then so I need an at. Then I will choose numbers that are too small. 2, 3, 4. 240 by 160. 160. And submit. And that's a way to do it. Is it a silly way? Yes. Really, an excuse for me to play with the linear gradient and say, well, you know, what do I get out of that? Did I submit? I thought I submitted. Maybe I didn't. And play with the linear gradient and what else can it be made to do? And it's sort of interesting. I'm not getting a response back from the server. That is disappointing. So I'm gonna copy all this and refresh and then resubmit, because I did not get a score back, and that is unusual. Strange. So I'm going to log out. Am I sure I'm going to log out? Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to log out. Okay, I'm going to close. I'm going to sign in. And I sign in with GitHub. And I need to get back to where I was by going to July. So versus, no, the daily targets. Let's go back in time. There's July, and there it is. And let's resubmit. very disappointing. I will have to I will need to do some work there, let them know that submission currently doesn't work. So let's resubmit on this guy too. That one worked. So what's wrong with this guy? Let's submit again. What happens if I change the code? I don't know. I've uncovered a bug. I will stop recording and I will report this as a bug. I will not quite complete. I won't upload this to YouTube, so once you see it, this will have resolved. But I'll. Okay, let's get meta. So unfortunately, I still cannot submit for this one. So I'm going to upload for the 2 days. So you'll in the title you won't have seen July 18th in here, but I will revisit that when CSSBattle.dev fixes their bug. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I will try to pick up and reference this video when I am able to do that in the future. At any rate, like I always say, go make a web page. Everybody loves web pages. Everybody's carrying on web browsers. Web pages are fun to make. It's tough out there, and web pages really kind of make things better to me. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.